Hey guys, it's your boy True. You guys have been asking for animation tutorials for so freaking long, so I figured there's no better time than for me to do it right here, right now, for all of you guys. Link to all the awesome music that I use in this tutorial will be in the description. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up so I know that you want to see more tutorials, and without further ado, let's just jump right into this animation tutorial. Today we're going to be covering a few things actually. I'd like to cover how do you make your backgrounds move in animation, as well as how do you make your character design flow with the background. Also, various other topics really. For this tutorial I am using the older version of Flipaclip because I downloaded the new version and it just wasn't good to me at all. So yeah, you don't need Flipaclip for this tutorial. This is pretty much basic things. For most of my characters, I already have pre-designed heads, so that's easy. Start by sketching out the first frame of your character's body. Like so. Okay, a tip is not to have your character wear clothing that is too complicated to figure out, but still make their clothing interesting. So my main character, True, has like a bluish trench coat slash pea coat looking thing. I feel like it separates him from a few of the other characters that are already in the series while keeping a nice and simple character design. What I notice is a lot of animators like to overcomplicate their character design and then it takes them long to animate, which is like, I know animation takes a long time, but you actually hear that a lot. People like, oh, it takes me just forever to animate something that's 3 seconds, and I'm like, I understand, but your character design is like just way too much. And you don't want to like just violate the audience's eyes. At the same time, you want to give them something special to look at and something that you don't mind drawing over and over again. Because a big part of animation is drawing the same thing over and over again, just in a different position. And if you're having a main character in a series or something, or in just a storytime video or something, you need that character to be simple yet interesting. You want that character to stick, you know, you want people to stick around for the video. So you don't want to depend on straight edge tools too much, but you do want to use them to your advantage. I struggle with that a lot. When I first started, I'd use straight edge tools for everything, and people were like, dude, this don't do that, that sucks. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm a better animator now. Now I know better than to do that. So what we're doing here is we're drawing the jacket over again, since, you know, when you're doing a character, you don't want presets for clothes because they're supposed to flow. Presets for heads are good. You know, they keep the animation clean and they keep the animation nice and consistent, which is very, very important. So what I'll do is I'll draw the design of a character's head like months or even weeks in advance, and I'll save it in an old project, and whenever I want to create that character again, I'll just copy their head, pull it up in a new project, and then just only thing you have to worry about is their body. And you want to make sure that that head fits on that body nicely. It's going to become very, very clear that you're not drawing the head over and over again, which I don't think that many people will care, but still. And you want to make sure those clothes stay consistent. So you want to make sure they stay consistent in color, size, shape. And while you can repeat this pattern with the head, it's good sometimes to just redraw the head. It just helps animations flow better, and it stops your animations from being so stiff, you know, to just redraw the head. It flows like just so well. So you can add an in-between in there of you just redrawing the head. I know a lot of people might say, Deshante, I noticed that you just added your character's shoulders going up a little bit. And if you ask me why I did that, I probably couldn't give you a good answer other than the fact that it just felt right. And a lot of times in animation, you just got to do what feels right. And it felt like natural for him to, like, you know, just kind of use his not his elbows. For him to use his shoulders to kind of help his posture a little bit, position into going upwards. This is what separates basic animators who just copy each other, you know, from original animators. Just doing something just because of the sake that it feels right, not because everybody else is doing it. Just you know, for the sake that you're doing it and it just feels like the right move. And it just felt like the right move to have his, you know, shoulders just kind of flinch a little bit when he's going up. So if you ask me why I did that, I probably couldn't tell you other than the fact that, you know, it just felt right. It felt natural. Now, since True here is straightening his posture from a crouch position to an upright position, you want to make sure he's getting taller, because In real life, when somebody sits down in a chair and they stand up, they don't stay the same size. You know, in real life, things grow and shrink according to the position that they're in. So keep that in mind when animating. You never want things, you never want things sizes to not make sense. You want to size everything in a way that makes sense, and it just makes sense for when somebody's going up to be upright instead of staying the same size. A lot of you guys may notice that I am actually animating backwards. I drew the last frame first, and I'm working my way up to the first frame. This just it's just a lot easier to do. If you know where you're going to end, it makes it easier to start. Now, I'm not saying do this every time, because it can make your animating process like just 10 times more confusing. I'm saying for special occasions like this. When you're using the copy and paste tool, you also want to be mindful of the fact that they have, certain parts of their face, like their eyes, their nose, and their mouth. You want to make sure that none of those parts are ever being left behind, so that they stay consistent, in place. His eyes are always going to be, the exact same place on his face that they're in the last frame and the frame before that, because it just makes the animation look just like so amateur if the eyes are just bouncing around the head like you didn't really put any thought into it. A lot of people prefer to animate on 24 frames per second. I think this is 12 or something. You can really get good animation quality if you know how to use a lot of people depend on a really high frame rate, and they make the animating process 10 times harder than it needs to be. A lot of people think they deserve a cookie because they animate in 24 frames per second. I guess we've been taught that that's kind of like the standard and that's the way you should do it, but if you know what you're doing, you can get a smooth animation with almost whatever frame rate you want. Alright, now we're drawing the background. This is the most important part of this project as a whole. You want to make sure you draw it in and have your key components in the middle of the frame. And after you color it, you're going to lasso that background, stretch it out, and copy it. You're going to paste it to the next frame, move it down and copy that, move it down, copy that. Frame by frame, you're going to inch that background closer and closer to the bottom of the screen. This creates the illusion that there is a camera focused on your subject as it's moving up. And when you're done, you should have this. Now, are there better ways to do this? I'm sure there are. This is just my method. I'm not saying this is a standard way to do it. This is the way I get it done. Since a lot of you guys ask me how I do stuff when I'm animating, I just thought I'd share this video with you. If you want to see more like this, be sure to hit the like button. Tell me what you think down below. And let me know what kind of tutorial you think I should do next. If you've seen something in one of my videos that you want to learn how to do, let me know and I'll make it happen for you. Until the next true tutorial, I'll see you next time, and stay true to yourself. No!